This is my 8th year of trading. I've learned so many lessons along the way. This is what I would do if I had to start from the beginning, right from the beginning, and get to the highest possible place in the shortest amount of time. This is exactly what I would do. The very, very first thing I would do is I would understand that the big movers in the market, they have sessions and timings, and I need to pick one which is going to suit me best. So the three you can pick from, this is in UTC +1, so this is British time. So just translate this to whatever you're in. The three you choose from is either 8 a.m. or 1 p.m. right here. So it's 8 a.m., 1 p.m., or then 2:30 p.m. So what are these 3 points? So this is London Open, US Open, and then New York Stock Exchange Open. You want to pick one of these three. Now, whichever one you choose to pick depends personally on you, on demographics and your employment status. So wherever you are in the world, and if you have a job during the day or during the night, it's going to take up your time and prevent you from trading one of these. And you want to pick one, only one, because you're going to master that exact session that you want to trade. The first 2 hours of that session is exactly what you are going to master. All the time, people come in and they try trade the entire day. You're always going to blow up doing that. You want to pick one time that you can become disciplined in turning into every single day. So I've put the timings on here. You can see London at 8, US at 1, NYSE at 2:30. Now I'm going to show you a little diagram of which one also you can choose. So obviously it depends on you personally, but then here's a little bit more info about each session. I've just devised a simple diagram here to kind of show you a bit of extra insight on trading sessions and which one to pick. So I've got the three sessions here, US, London, and NYSE. Now on the x-axis, you can see it says easiest to trade, and then on the y, it says most opportunity. So you can see that in US session, there is the most opportunity, but it's not the easiest to trade. It's the most difficult out of all three, and you've probably got a lower win rate in US. Then in NYSE, you've got the least amount of opportunity because you're only trading one pair, one US 30. It can go maybe a week without even taking a trade on it. But it is the easiest to trade by far. It is so simple to trade that. And then in the middle, which is my favorite, we've got London, which is medium difficulty to trade. You'll still get lots of good opportunities. And this is my favorite right here. But this is what you've got to take into account when you are picking your session, as well as what actually works best for you. If the only one you can trade is US, it's absolutely fine. I mean, for some people, a lot of people even, that is their favorite and their best and what they will always go with. So it depends on the time. And then this is just a bit of extra knowledge as well to put in there. So once I've picked my session, I will then choose which pair I'm going to focus on. Now, you want to focus on one, maximum two pairs. Most traders will come and they will get 20, 30 pairs going down the side of their chart, and they will be constantly looking at each one. You're never, ever going to master any pairs when you're doing that. You need to focus on two. Just because you think you're going to get more opportunities when you're trading loads of pairs does not mean you're going to be successful faster. That's going to make you take longer time because so many different pairs, they all move in different ways in different times of the day, and you need to master the time and the pair. In London, what I recommend is trading one of these three, GJ, GA, or EJ, or maybe even two of them, but I wouldn't go over that. For me, GJ in London is what I've been doing for the longest time. This is the crown and the jewels of my whole trading strategy and career. This, if I had to choose one, I could only ever choose one. I would always go back to GJ in London session. To me, it's what I know best. It's the cleanest and nicest moves over and over again. GJ London is my favorite and I highly recommend it to anyone else. But for London, I would recommend taking one of these. And if I chose to trade US, then I would pick between GJ, EJ, GA, gold or silver, and then EU. And remember, you don't want to be picking any more than two. These are just possible options that you could go for. These are my recommendations. Obviously, you can pick anything you want, but just make sure it's no more than two. But these are my recommendations if you want a good pair that follows good movements during that session. These would be my recommendations. So for US, I would pick one of these two pairs to focus on. And then for NYSE, really, really simple. The only pair I'd look at for NYSE would be US 30. Obviously, you can bring another pair from one of these US in and then use that. But the one I would focus on for NYSE would be US 30. US 30 is a beautiful, beautiful pair. I trade that pretty much every day. It's one of my favorite ones. So if I'm trading London, I would then probably come back later, 4, 5, 6 hours later, and then trade US 30. So what you want to do, the two most important things to start is you want to pick a session and then pick a pair. and you're going to completely master these pairs. You're going to come every single day. You're going to get in a routine. You're going to come at least 15 minutes before the session is opened. So 15 minutes before your session opens, you will be at your chart ready for whatever session you're going to be trading. You will do this every single trading day, Monday to Friday, every single day you can. Get the discipline in place, and you want to be done 2 hours into your session. So after 2 hours, you want to be thinking, okay, I'm done now. So you have a strict discipline routine. This is going to help so much with your psychology going forward. Me personally, I didn't even look at a US session. I knew nothing about US for the first few years of my whole trading journey, because it was just GJ in London. I then added GA, then EJ a bit. Then I started to look at US, and then I added US 30 gold and stuff at the end, just before I started teaching, so I could kind of solidify my position as a mentor in the market. But for me, I focused on London and GJ. I had so much success off of that. I didn't even care about anything else in the market. That's the attitude you've got to have. Don't want to get drawn into any noise about anything else. So, oh, what's gold doing in US? If you're focusing, say you're focusing GA London, that's all you care about. 8 until 10 a.m. That's what you focus on every single day. You don't care what happens any other time. Trust me, this is important, because if you're thinking about trading the whole day, loads of different pairs, it is not going to work for you. So you better find this out sooner rather than later and take my advice. Now, in terms of what you actually look for, the actual strategy, you can either get a course, that is what I recommend. Obviously, I am a mentor myself, but I do recommend it. You can go the self-learned route, which is what I did, but it will cost you thousands and it will cost you so much time to do so. But you can go that route if you really want to. You've just got to pay attention to what the market actually does at the certain time that you're trading. You don't care about the other times. All you care about is them 2-3 hours in which you're trading. What does the market do each day? Because it does give off patterns. It leaves behind trails that you can follow. I'm going to show you on EJ for all 3 sessions on this one particular day last week, what you could have done. So the whole foundation of my strategy is sessions. The market moves in sessions. My whole course is about that, exactly what I do every single day. That is linked in the description. However, on this day, what happened on EJ? I'm also going to show you what US 30 did on this day as well, so make sure you stick around to the end to watch that. On the 26th of May, this is what EJ did. So I've labeled off London here and then US here. So this is 15 minutes before London. I would now be at the market. So if I was someone who chose to trade EJ in London, I would be at the markets at this time, getting my zones ready. So let's just do that as an example. So 8 a.m., 15 minutes before, what am I going to be looking for? So I do all my higher time frame analysis that I teach about. I'd do all that. I'd have my bias for the day. The bias for this day was bullish. And then I'd be looking lower time frames, what the zones I've got. So looking at the previous London session, zone I've got is this one in here. Now, I'm not going to talk all about the zones because that is in other videos and in my course. This is a video about exactly what I do. So I'm not going to talk all about zones. However, now I have my zone. All I'm waiting for is something to happen at that zone. Obviously, I'd have another zone in here, right in there, which is from Asia. So I'd have my zones. Now I'm thinking, preparing, what am I going to do once this session has opened? I'm also thinking, if there isn't a trade, am I going to be able to sit it off? And yes, you have to be able to take it off. But that is all emotional, and emotional comes really from lessons that you have to take through taking pain in the market, so on and so forth. But now I'm waiting for the market to open. Bang, the market is opened. Now I'm active, most engaged in the market. This is the whole point in the day when I'm most engaged. At 8 a.m, market's opened. I'm just looking for something to happen at my zone. You can see what happened is that we pulled back in. Now I'm just looking for a rejection candle. So I don't want to talk too much all about technicals in this video. This is about timings and what I do, because timings is the most important. So from that point, it is now 8:45, 45 minutes in. I don't want to be spending too much more time sat at the charts. So I've got my entry. I would watch it a little bit, make sure it's safe. And from this point, I'm probably just going to leave it. And my whole trading day is done. So from that point, it's going to push off, it's going to push off, it's going to push off. And now, if I just take it back a bit, this is where the US players will come to the market. So if you're someone who chose to trade EJ in US, this is where you'd be in the market. First of all, this trade came in for the person who traded London. That trade came in, they did their planning, they got the zones, they're all ready to trade it. So we have this zone in here. So the person in US, they've seen London's pushed to the upside. The bias is still bullish. It's 15 minutes before the session. Am I ready to start taking trades? I'm just looking at EJ. I don't care what any other pair does. I'm just looking at EJ. Am I going to be able to take my trade? So we do this, we push above, session opens, we get the break above. All we're looking for now is the pullback into the zone, so then we can buy off to the upside. We have pulled back in, hasn't really given us a nice entry though. However, from this point here, we get strong bullish candle. So from that point, we can buy with the stop just below the zone. And then there isn't a target on this one because there wasn't any recent price action. So in this case, it's just a hold until the end of the session. So again, from this point, it's 3:55 now. So it's getting pretty late in the session, but the opportunity was there. And then from that point, it pushed all the way to the upside. So the main point of this video is not the technicals. It's that you need to pick a session because people don't talk about this. You need to pick a session, you need to pick a pair, and you need to do that every single day. So if you're in London, 15 minutes before, you're ready, you trade London. US, you're there 15 minutes before, you're ready, you trade US. You don't care what anything else does. You need to focus. Through focusing on specific time pair, two very, very simple things, that's where you're going to find your success from. It's not going to come from having 15 pairs and trading every minute of the day. That is not where the success is going to come from. Now, finally, on this same day was US 30. So this was 2:15. So 15 minutes before NYSE opened, you're at your chart and you're ready. With US 30, it's so simple because there's only ever two zones that you're looking at. For this example, we had this zone in here, which was from the previous US session. It was such a simple zone. So 15 minutes time, that session opens and you have to be ready for what happens. So you've been preparing yourself. This is the one time of the day that you're looking. You only care US 30, 230. It's all you care about. You're so zoned in on that. You don't care about anything else. So what happens? Market opens, 230 happens, and bang, goes straight above. What happens in the next candle? Comes back down into the zone, and you get that rejection. Once you've seen it had flipped, you could have entered from that point. Your stop just down there, and then your target wherever it was. Again, this isn't a technical video. It's just to tell you that you need to be zoned in on the exact time that you're going for. So from that point, it was an easy push off to the upside because you were there 15 minutes before, you were ready. So in this day here, if you traded London, you traded US, or you traded NYSE, there was an opportunity, and that's a nice example of how you can go about each one. You're there 15 minutes before, you know your pair, you know your session, because you've seen it happen 100 times. You have to get the experience in. You've seen it happen hundreds of times. You know what the patterns are, what the market does, and you're just looking to catch that every day. You might win, you might lose, you don't care. Overall, you're going to be successful doing it.